A queen's court, a human intruder. I was supposed to be dead. When my ship crash-landed on Zefarian Prime, no one expected me to survive. Not the intergalactic command, not the AI that piloted the vessel, not even me. The planet was hostile, uncharted, and home to one of the galaxy's most feared empires, the alienwarrior. So naturally I stumbled right into their capital city. I wasn't captured, not immediately. Instead I was summoned. Summoned to the grand crystalline throne room where the alienwarrior queen, Valara the Unyielding, reigned over a court of shimmering armored elites. She stood tall, blue-skinned, eyes like twin suns. Her armor a work of art that seemed to pulse with living energy. I was brought before her. Kneeling wasn't a request, it was demanded. So I did. She studied me with an amused smile. A Terran. Here. Alive. Her voice was melodic and sharp, like music played on knives. Yeah. Hi. Wave. Her court laughed. I probably should have bowed instead. But instead of having me executed on the spot, she let me speak. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was the fact I was the first human to step foot on Zefarian and live. Or maybe she just wanted to toy with me. To the proposal. They kept me around. As a curiosity. I was placed in quarters within the palace, assigned a translator drone, and paraded around like some ancient relic. Occasionally, Queen Valara would summon me for conversation. At first I was a court jester, someone who amused her with my human sarcasm and wild Terran stories. And somehow, I didn't mind. She fascinated me. Not just her appearance, though she was a force of nature, but her mind. She was cunning, sharp, strategic. She'd unified half the galaxy not by war alone, but diplomacy and sheer force of presence. Weeks passed, then months. Talk more. Laugh more. She even trained with me, swordplay, verbal sparring, strategy. I'd become more than a curiosity. Then came the moment. A lavish alienwarrior celebration. Golden skies lit with floating lanterns, dancers moving like liquid fire. She stood beside me, regal, radiant. I looked at her. He smirked. You look like you're about to say something foolish, Terran. I downed the alien equivalent of champagne. I am, I said, kneeling. Valara of the alienwarrior Empire. Will you marry me? The hall fell silent. Then she laughed. Oh, stars above. She laughed like I'd told the greatest joke in the history of her kind. A full, head thrown back, eyes sparkling laugh. You jest, she said between giggles. I don't. He stopped. Breathed the shift. Everything changed after that. She avoided me for days. Refused to see me. The palace staff grew awkward, like they didn't know if I was to be exiled or executed. Finally she summoned me. We met in her private gardens, an ethereal place where plants from 100 worlds bloomed under artificial moons. She stood waiting, back turned. You embarrassed me. I was serious, I replied. She turned slowly, gaze unreadable. You're a human. Minor species. A refugee of war. Why would I? Because you like me. She narrowed her eyes. I tolerate you. You laugh with me. You train with me. You talk to me. You see me. Silence. I don't want to be a trophy, I said. But I'd stand beside you. Always. Not as a subject. Not as a novelty. As your equal. She looked at me like she was trying to decide whether to vaporize me or kiss me. Alienwarrior queens do not wed aliens, she whispered. Then start a new tradition. For a crown and a blade. The proposal triggered political waves I hadn't anticipated. Allies of her empire threatened rebellion. Advisors warned of collapse. Religious leaders called it blasphemy. But she didn't execute me. In fact, she doubled down. She made me a formal consort candidate, which, on Zephyrian, meant trials. Trials. Combat, diplomacy, intelligence. I had to earn the right to stand beside her. So I trained, bled, studied. I outwitted her best tacticians in simulated war. I defeated champions in ceremonial duels. I memorized Elisiari law, history, even their poetry. And she watched. She never intervened, never encouraged me. But her gaze never left me. When I passed the final trial, standing battered but unbroken in the arena, the crowd fell silent. She descended from her throne. "I still think you're reckless," she said. "I still think you laugh too much at your own jokes." Then she smiled, a real smile, and said, "Then let the stars bear witness." 5. The coronation of madness. Our union wasn't easy. Weddings on Zephyrian aren't private. Ours was an interstellar broadcast. Billions watched as I knelt, not as a subject, but as a chosen partner. I expected assassination attempts. There were 3. I expected political unrest. 2 systems seceded. Temporarily. But I also gained respect. Not because I was strong, but because I endured. Not because I was clever, but because I believed in her. And maybe, just maybe, she believed in me too. We weren't always in agreement. She was a queen. I was a Terran soldier. But we fought for each other. And then the real war came. 6. The Burning Rift. The Veil Consortium, a rival galactic alliance, launched an offensive across neutral sectors. They threatened Elisiari worlds, took colonies hostage, demanded the Queen's surrender. She refused. I led the vanguard. We fought across moons, in asteroid belts, in shattered space stations. I rallied soldiers who once saw me as a joke. I became their blade. But the consortium had a secret weapon. A null field generator designed to sever the Elisiari mind link. A psionic network that connected their fleets. In a crucial battle they activated it. Vailara's armies faltered. But not me. I was immune to the mind disruption. I rallied her warriors. Led a charge into the heart of their command. And I destroyed the generator, nearly dying in the process. When I woke up, she was there. Sitting beside my medpod, holding my hand. "You almost died," she whispered. "Did we win?" She nodded. "You're still not laughing," I said weakly. She leaned down, kissed my forehead, and whispered, "I'm too busy loving you." 7. When Queens Cry. Years passed. We ruled together. Our story became legend. The human who proposed to an alien queen and meant it. The queen who laughed. Until she didn't. But all stories end. On the anniversary of our victory, I collapsed in the throne room. The war wounds had done more damage than we knew. Doctors tried everything. She refused to leave my side. On the final day, I looked at her, her crown on the table. Her eyes red from tears she never let others see. "I meant every word," I whispered. "I know," she said, gripping my hand. "I love you, Vailara. And I, you Terran fool." My last words. "Still think you laugh too much." She smiled through tears. And I closed my eyes. The legacy. They say she never married again. That she built a monument not of gold or crystal, but of stone carved with our vows. That every year she walks there barefoot as a queen, and as the woman who once laughed at a proposal, only to realize he wasn't joking. And neither was she.